Most people now realize that the media is just pure propaganda, agenda-driven bullshit. Welcome back to the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic, ICE did a raid in Tallahassee, Florida of a construction site. Go ahead, take a look at the clip. Yeah, so I mean, this is good to see. I mean, I'm glad to see it. I'm sure you're glad to see it. Let me know if you're glad to see this type of thing happening. Because, see, this is what we voted Trump in to do. He said he was going to do it. We voted him in to do it. And now he's doing it. Promises made. Promises kept. And if you're somebody out there who's so pissed about all these deportations and ICE raids and you're blaming Trump, you're blaming the wrong guy. You're going to want to start blaming Biden because he's the moron who let them just open the borders so all the illegals could just run into the country, millions every year. We don't even know how many got in the country. It's just insane. So, you know, if your brother or your grandpa or your dad gets deported because of Trump's deportation policies, don't be pissed at Trump, be pissed at Biden. Because if you blame Trump, then you're also blaming people like me who voted for Trump to do this. So, frankly, that pisses me off, and that pisses off the rest of Americans who also voted for Trump to do this. Because, see, Biden made the problem so bad by allowing so many people to just cross the border illegally that it made the everyday American no longer be able to just look the other way of the problem. It was no longer able to ignore the problem, right? So everybody was like, oh yeah, the border is a total issue. We can't just be having people running across the border like it's nothing. So we voted Trump in to do exactly this. So yeah, if you're pissed, blame Biden. Trump's just doing the damn thing and just great, right? Great. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Karoline Leavitt says that Jill Biden needs to be held accountable. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Certainly speak up about what she saw in regards to her husband and when she saw it and what she knew. Because I think anybody looking, again, at the videos and photo evidence of Joe Biden with your own eyes and a little bit of common sense can see this was a clear cover-up. And Jill Biden was certainly complicit in that cover-up. There's documentation, video evidence of her clearly shielding her husband away from the cameras. They were just on The View last week. She was saying everything is fine. She's still lying to the American people. She still thinks the American public are so stupid that they're going to believe her lies. And frankly, it's insulting and she needs to answer.
Yeah, so let me know if you think Jill Biden needs to be held accountable for something. I mean, at the bare minimum, she needs to be held accountable for elder abuse. That weekend at Bernie's, presidential run was just the craziest thing ever. I can't believe Americans even let it happen and they just pretended like it wasn't happening. A lot of people were pretending, folks. But yeah, I mean, we just had that David Hogg dude talking about how powerful Jill Biden's team was. She was obviously, wielding power from behind the scenes, and it's just crazy. And yeah, I mean, good for the Trump administration coming out and putting the heat on Jill Biden, right? Because if she really was wielding power from behind the scenes and just sending her husband out there to pretend like he's like running the country just so she could be making decisions and wielding the power and her chief of staff is making decisions, screw you, Jill. Screw you. You totally ruined the country and you basically put America on life support, and Trump had to come in and friggin', rehabilitate America to where we're actually getting on our feet again. It's like, God, if Jill Biden was really just doing that, I mean, what a sick, sick human being trying to wield power over a country after your husband has just become a vegetable mentally. It's pretty sickening. Any self-respecting woman would have been like, no, we're not peddling my husband out there. We're done. He's retiring. He's, stepping down as the president, and we're just taking him home and he's just doing his thing, living out his life. That's what a self-respecting woman would have done. But a woman who hates her husband and just wants power and wants to be on the cover of Vogue, yeah, she's going to go out there and, peddle her senile husband around just so she can stay at the top and, wield the power. It's sickening, and she needs to be held accountable. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. So JD Vance called out the legacy media, basically says they're dying. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Traditional media. I mean, I'd love to see the media reform. I'm not sure if they're psychologically capable of doing it, Greg. But I mean, look, your network taking off is a big evidence of this. You see the creation of this massive podcast ecosystem. People are tuning out traditional media. As you know, they've got a lower approval rating traditional media does than Congress, which is actually a very hard thing to do. It's almost a skill in and of itself to have a lower approval rating than Congress, but somehow CBS and NBC and ABC have managed to do it. But look, I think these things tend to happen gradually. You're going to see the rise of alternative media. It's already happening. It's going to accelerate.
Yeah, so let me know, where do you get your news mostly these days? I mean, is it on X? Is it on YouTube? I just can't go to cable news and go to a legacy media entity and just watch for more than 5 minutes. You just realize it's like, wow, everything they're saying to me is just complete bullshit. It's usually just a bunch of, Trump derangement syndrome masquerading as news, but how do you think, mainstream media and the legacy media can even bring themselves back, right? Like, say if some billionaire mogul bought CNN and decided, listen, I'm going to make this back into real news. Like, how would you even get the trust of America back? A lot of times business put under new management or under new ownership signs up so people know, hey, a new owner bought this and we're not doing the same stupid stuff that the previous owner did. But I mean, how do you even do that if you buy CNN? You would have to literally just buy CNN and take a whole week of you as the new owner just running the same clip of you basically saying, listen, I bought CNN. We're not doing that bullshit anymore. We're going full real news. We're giving it to you straight. And you'd basically have to run that clip on CNN for a week so people could just watch it and be like, oh, wow, I can't wait for this new CNN to come out to see what it actually is. I think that would be the only way CNN could be revived or resuscitated from basically death. But yeah, legacy media, I doubt they're going to last Trump's term. I don't even know if it's really even going to last, until the end of Trump's term. Nobody's watching. MSNBC's ratings have fallen 40% in the past 2 weeks. That's how crazy it is. Because why would you watch MSNBC when they just give you pure bullshit and you know it, right? Most people now realize that the media is just pure propaganda, agenda-driven bullshit. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Americans are losing confidence in higher education. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
I think going into this, I think a lot of Americans thought that higher ed needed a nice kick in the rear end. What am I talking about here? Well, why don't we take a look at high confidence in higher education? You go back a decade ago, 57% of Americans had high confidence in higher education. Look at where we are now. That number has plummeted as of last year down to 36%. We're talking about a 36-point drop among Republicans specifically. Get this, 68% of Americans said that higher education was on the wrong track. So it's a question of whether or not people agree with Trump's tactics, but they definitely agree with him on the idea that there is a problem with higher ed overall.
One thing you've heard from President Trump and many Republican allies for quite some time is accusing colleges and universities across the country of not being a friendly place for conservatives, if you will. How do the American public feel? Yeah, so, do colleges have a liberal bias? I think that's really the question here. And what we see in polling after polling after polling is that the plurality say yes. Overall, look at that, 45% of Americans overall agree with the idea that colleges have a liberal bias. Just 24% disagree with that idea. Look among Republicans. Hello, 67% of Republicans agree that colleges have a liberal bias. This is why Donald Trump is so emphatic and so wanting to take on this fight, because he knows that Republicans hate universities, hate the administrations, believe they have a liberal bias, and in fact, the plurality of Americans overall agree with the idea
agree with Donald Trump that colleges are, in fact, a place where bias reigns.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how Americans wouldn't be losing confidence in higher education when all you see is these clips of these Harvard students, trying to free Palestine, and we're hearing about how Harvard's getting their funding pulled because they just have so many foreign students. They're basically teaching China. That's what Harvard's doing. But yeah, and then Columbia with all their morons too. It's like, what are we even doing here with this higher education? Is Harvard even teaching anything real anymore? I don't know what's coming out of Harvard. We all have heard the stories of, Harvard medical claiming that men could be women, those types of things, because they're just a part of the agenda of we're spreading this type of crap. But yeah, these jobs that these people are going to be getting out of Harvard, I don't even think they're going to be existing, unless you're an engineer, you're a doctor or a lawyer or something, even maybe a lawyer. But I think AI is just going to be taking the majority of the jobs, right? So if you're not a tradesman who's going out and actually doing real physical work, if you're somebody who just sits behind a computer, I would be worried, I'd be like, shit, dude, when is AI when are they going to just have some sort of AI do exactly what I do, Because all these people who were so easily able to work from home during COVID, why wouldn't they just be able to replace you with an AI? We can just move you from the office to the home. Well, why couldn't they just move it from you to AI, and all these people going to college right now, whether it's higher education or just some normal university, it's man, you really got to decide what you want to be doing and look 5 years in the future and be is AI just going to take my job like it's nothing? The guy who's doing he's the electrician or the plumber or just the roofer or whatever. AI is probably not going to be stealing that guy's job in, 5 years. But the person who's just goes on the computer and types in numbers or answers emails or does whatever, AI is taking that job. So I don't know how much real, stock we need to be putting into education, or even especially higher education, where they're just turning these people into pure indoctrinated morons. But yeah, man, we really need to rethink what the whole school education system should be. Frankly, it's probably just going to pivot to majority trade work and then, the specialized fields like medicine, engineering, or whatever, I don't even know if lawyers are probably going AI soon too. So, I don't even know if you can really be a lawyer for much longer, but who knows? But that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.